Time for some rumors and rumblings. Julian, last week you mentioned there's a real chance that the Red Sox could make Jarren Duran available. Is there a realistic connection between the Mets and Red Sox?
I think so. In the case of just, Duran being a guy that can play center, play left, you can sort of move him around the outfield a little bit. He's sort of that Energizer bunny. He plays the game at 100% all the time. But look, Jarren hasn't had a really good season, and I think the Red Sox might be hesitant to trade him. I know that they thought about trading him in the offseason, even dating back to the All-Star break. I heard that, this might be a season that's sort of an outlier, and we need to be able to trade him and get the value for him. Now, I don't know what you possibly get for Jarren because he hasn't really played that well. However, a new environment could help him. I know he's sort of a guy that can sort of get in his own head sometimes, and perhaps New York might not be the right market for him. But he's a tremendous talent when it comes to just a guy that has the physical ability to run the bases. He still leads the league in triples. He's just an all-around talent when he's playing well. He just has to keep his head in the right space.
Yeah, for me, I agree with everything you said. I just don't know why it makes sense for the Red Sox to trade him after they already traded Devers, right? That seemed like the big splashy, like, let's clear payroll kind of move. And with Duran, he's under team control for a couple more years, I think 2028 or so. And for the Mets, that means they'd have to give up more versus like if they got a Cedric Mullins who's going to be a free agent and, they just have a couple months of him and it probably costs a low-level prospect. It seems like the Red Sox would have a high price, and given the season he's had, now some of that has been unlucky. You can look at some of the underlying metrics and he should be playing a little bit better than the numbers suggest. But I just don't know if Craig Breslow, who's a wanted man probably in Boston still, is like, you know what else I'm going to do? I'm going to trade another fan favorite. See you later, Jarren Duran.
Yeah, Mets need a center fielder. I like the potential there from Duran. I'm also trying to get the team to win a World Series this year, and trading for a guy that's not having a good year, I don't know if that's the best recipe for success. Julian, what about Aroldis Chapman? You think he'd be a good fit for the Mets?
Yes. I mean, the Mets need help in their bullpen. Chapman's used to playing in the eighth inning, pitching in the eighth inning or pitching earlier in the game. And I think he could be able to do that. Look, he's up to 104 miles per hour this year as a 37-year-old. That's tough to do, right? I haven't seen anybody that's a specimen like him. I mean, he's a sort of this unicorn. And I think in the Red Sox case, I don't see them going anywhere this season. I really don't. That lineup is just too light for me. You're looking at that lineup. You got Rob Refsnyder leading off, Romy Gonzalez hitting fourth. You got the kids and Roman Anthony and Marcelo Meyer up there, and you're sort of exposing them, putting them in 3 or 4 holes, and there's really nowhere to hide those guys. And you have that list of inexperience. You got to get something back for something here. You have to get something to look toward the future, because even though Craig Breslow said we might be a better team without Rafael Devers. Yeah, right. I'm not. That's not the case. The season's over. They're not. I don't see them making the playoffs, and you got to be able to get your best guys off and ultimately get them in the trade.
Julian, if you would have told me a year ago I'd want to roll this Chapman on the New York Mets, I would have said you're certifiably insane. I mean, this guy's got to be washed. He's got to be totally shot. He's been unbelievable for the Red Sox. I mean, you mentioned it. The fastball velocity. You watched him pitch against the Mets earlier this year. You watched him in those Yankee series. I see 101, 102. I'm like, where has this been the last 4 or 5 years? He has postseason experience. He has New York experience. And you're not relying on him to go and be the closer. You're looking for swing and miss stuff. You're looking for a lefty to go and replace Minter. Sal, despite the fact that Aroldis Chapman at times drove me to drink and needed a whole lot of Pepto-Bismol for me when I was watching Yankee games, I'm in. He fits the Mets.
And I would argue that would be a more valuable acquisition than Duran or any center fielder for the Mets. If you compare Chapman and Diaz, 8-9 in that bullpen, that would be lethal, especially come October.